Hey y'all.
Hey y'all.
We are here, season 3, episode 6, Fancies Let's Talk About It, for why you can't let go of something or someone. This proves to be a very interesting topic and show. Hey Tabby, welcome. So I have in the house with me, it's just me, and we're a duo tonight, the dynamic duo, like Batman and Robin. Me and Ken, and we are going to hold it down tonight. Let me see you. We're going to hold it down tonight and get in and let's just go for season 3, episode 6 of Fancies Let's Talk About It. So this is a topic that y'all voted on. So since y'all voted on this topic, we definitely want to have you involved with it and your feedback. Y'all obviously thought that this was very interesting. And so we are definitely interested in hearing what you have to say as well. So for those of you that are new, we thank you for watching and joining us. And we look forward to your feedback. Just type in a comment and we will continue to have our discussion, and we will pause at some points and I'll read your comments and your feedback. We definitely want to hear your stories, and we want you to share your experiences with us. That's exactly what we're doing. So I want to go ahead and welcome the people in the room now that have joined us, which is Tabitha, Tabby, Neffy. Is it that? I hope I'm saying it right, Neffy. Khalifa, Larry, Big Brother, Clifford, Fleeks, Eric, Jerome. Hey Pat, welcome, and Robert Woolsey also. So thank you guys for joining us, and we're going to get into this very important topic after I re-familiarize. And hey Rod, Spring Branch, what's up? Stand up. I want to go ahead and re-familiarize or reintroduce to you my special host. Like I say again, the dynamic duo, Batman and Robin tonight, Fancy and Special K. So go on, Special K, and let's get them on. Let them know a little bit about you, and let's go. Get into the topic.
Special K here. We're, like she said, the dynamic duo. Well, let me say Batman and Batgirl.
Batgirl. No, I want to be Batman. Well, who you gonna be? Yeah. I want to be Batman.
You want to make me Robin.
Okay, well then,
you can ride in a sidecar.
I don't know about no Batgirl. How about Catwoman? I'll take Catwoman. I am a Leo. I'll take a Catwoman. What y'all think about Catwoman?
Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman. Okay, now that Superwoman is what I'll take. All right, I am Superwoman.
Justice League.
The Justice League up in here. Hey, Lala, welcome. Hey, Mika, my little niece that's not so young anymore. Y'all making me age, girl. So I just want to hop on and talk to you guys. Okay, so let's go on and get right into it. Now, understand that this episode is not all about, in all of my topics, even though you guys suggest them, I always find a way to integrate them into many other avenues as well. So why you can't let go of something or someone. Something could be a job, a friendship, a bad habit, a material possession, money. Those are the things that, those are some of the things that you can't let go of. And then obviously the other half of this, which gets the most, I think, press, if you could say that, or the most attention, is going to be someone. Why can't you let go of someone? So which side do you want to talk about first? And I want your opinion on whichever one you choose to go with on first. And welcome, Maximo.
Let's jump right into it. Someone.
Okay. I think this is what y'all want to hear. So y'all ready? I expect y'all to contribute. So come on in. There ain't nothing that you can say. Just be honest. And remember, the one thing that my one rule here is that we don't do any name calling. So don't name anybody, please. And we don't bash. And if it's about a job, don't call out your company name in any negative way. Those are my only rules. And we don't gender bash. Okay, so we don't do that at all either. Don't generalize. Kevin's Custom Jewelry on Instagram, welcome. Lewis on Instagram, welcome. We are both live on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, so a couple of comments that we're going to take first is going to be probably have sentimental value, Roderick says. And then Lala says feelings and familiarity. Those are reasons why you can't let go of something or someone. I totally agree with those things. So he says, so Ken says, so Batman says, so Superman says, the Justice League over here says that let's go on and dive into the real issue. Someone that you can't let go of and why. What's your take?
comfortability. I
Okay.
would say. I don't know
Comfort.
if that's a word or not.
Comfortability. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
it is what it said. You're
hey,
comfortable with a situation,
and a lot
with
of
a
people,
person,
a lot of
right?
people don't like change.
That's huge. I always discuss change
Yes.
because change it's important. It's inevitable. It's invaluable. But at the same time, it's very difficult because it presents a challenge. It challenges you to do something maybe that you've never done before. Maybe you're stepping into unfamiliar territory. So it makes it difficult for you. And Robert Woolsey says, hard habits to break. Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people just don't like to step out their comfort zone.
Absolutely.
They think that maybe two is better than one.
Yeah.
I meet a lot of people like that. Two
Yeah.
is better than one. They'd rather take something instead of nothing.
Take a piece of something and try to work with it instead of have nothing.
Yes.
Okay, that's what he's saying.
Yes.
So he's saying people do it. People hold on to someone. Why you can't let go of someone, particularly, is because you're either A, comfortable, you're B, afraid, or C, you think that you can work with a little something versus nothing. Which leads me into my first point. And it really mirrors and echoes what you're saying, because it's like some people would rather have a little something than nothing at all. What this is I want you to think for a minute. This is going to hurt a little bit. Y'all know I'm notorious for that. But it might hurt a little bit. But I want you to think about this. And this is also a good driving piece of advice for you. It will drive you to think. It will drive you to examine and maybe look in those places that aren't so comfortable, to look within your own self. So, bam, here I go. A lot of times, you don't realize that it's not the person that you can't let go of. It's the fact that you don't want to be alone that you can't let go of. You're used to it, like he said, out of habit, out of comfort, being with someone. You're used to that lifestyle. You've been in that relationship, whether it's a short-term relationship or a long-term relationship, you are accustomed to being with that person, and you have your routine with that person. So a lot of times when you break up, the first thing you're thinking about is, I don't know how I can live without them. I don't know how I'm going to make it without them. But the truth is, honestly, if you really self-reflect and you look at it more deeply, you will see that in many situations, I'm not saying all, but in many situations, that it's just the fact that you don't have someone per se that is what's driving that sadness and driving the need to hold on, to grip on to something, right?
Yep.
What you think about that?
Yep.
That was the thought that came to me. I was thinking, like, a lot of people are really holding on to the idea and the notion of something that used to be, because it's better, it's easier for them to think of all of that rather than think about just having to be alone. A lot of times it's just the empty space that gnaws at us.
That space when you go out to the club after you break up and then you come home and it's lonely at night. There's nobody there.
Because you ain't hitting off on nothing at the club. Devin the dude say, let me see what I can pull.
No, you don't really want to hit nothing at the club. You just out bearing your sorrows.
I have to agree with you, because I have had a many a nice drinks.
We all.
Yes, I have gone out to the club and had a many a nice drinks at the bar by myself. And there's been plenty of men that have came up to me and said, can I buy you something to drink? Or would you like to dance? Or what are you doing after this? Or can I take you for breakfast? All kind of things. I mean, even in the day clubs, can I take you out for dinner? In the day clubs, the day parties or whatever. I've had that experience happen. And I have turned them down and said, no, I'm good. Like, I'm really good. Because really, I was just there. For me, it was more of the atmosphere. I wasn't having to sit at home alone. Yeah. I could be out because music soothes my soul. So whenever I've been in situations where I've been alone, thank you, Robert, where I've been alone, I have been occupying myself so I didn't have to face what it really was. Exactly. But when you're in that room by yourself, or when you're in those quiet moments by yourself, or like you say, after you come home from the club and you're there in the bed about to lay it down and go to sleep, if you're not blitzed out of your mind or drunk, and going into an alcohol coma, basically, then or taking a sleeping pill, something over the counter.
Or you like Drake looking for somebody to put this weight on.
Exactly right. So if you're not,
said it
if you're
best.
not thinking about that, you know what I'm saying? Then you start thinking like, damn, you know, like I have to face who I am and what has happened. You know, that's one of the reasons. So a couple of comments that we got back is loyalty is a reason why you can't let go of something or someone. I totally understand your loyalty. And then also love is blind. You know, love is blind.
You can't help who you love.
And you can never help who you love. You can never help who you're connected to. And Lala says, you know, good outweighs the bad. You know, when the good outweighs the bad, it always makes it difficult. But at that point, you both of the people in the relationship have to come to an agreement, and both people have to say, we're really going to work on this so that we don't go down this road again. Because what happens a lot of times in relationships is once that breaking up starts and the making up and breaking up, it just becomes a vicious cycle.
Yes.
Over and over and over again. It only gets worse. You're absolutely right. So this is the thing. So we're covering that. You know what I'm saying? Why? Yes, because you're loyal to something, you know. But I'm going to make another point because these are the things that I absolutely know. Welcome there, you guys, on Instagram. I am on Instagram Live. We are Instagram Live and Facebook Live as well. And welcome to our new viewers on both Facebook and Instagram. I have Special K here, just in case you're coming on now. And myself, of course, Fancy. I never need an introduction. You know exactly who I am. Okay. So now, another thing that I'm going to say that's going to challenge you to look at yourself, or you may have that aha moment later, is that a lot of us out here are still dealing with childhood wounds. We're dealing with issues. We don't realize that our inner child has not yet been healed. So we are, as adults, trying to keep everything soothed over, cool, trying to find that love that we never really had, that we never really achieved. We're trying to win back the time that we lost in those heartbreaks, those high school heartbreaks, junior high heartbreaks, situations with our family, broken ties with our parents, broken bonds with our siblings, or our distant family members, or the loved ones that we really were in love with that played us and did us wrong. I think a lot of times, you know, we're out here, we are very, I'm going to say this loosely, we are very injured adults. We are very injured children. We are very deeply injured children living in a very adult world. Our inner child is still very much injured. And so since it's very much injured and we had no control over those things then, as an adult, we tend to exert or try to take control and protect ourselves and really love harder, thinking that we're going to get that back.
And it's something you can never get back.
You can never get it back.
Yeah, you have to heal.
You have to heal. And again, here I go with my spiel on therapy. Therapy is not a dirty word. Therapy is very beneficial. Again, self-help is all over the place. YouTube, podcasts, whatever else you could need. You know, all of those things are very beneficial to you. So, you know, it's sort of like you have to continue to look within self first so that you can heal, so that you can be a whole person. I have said on so many occasions, you cannot be a nickel out here looking for a dime. You got to come 100%. It's not 50-50 in relationships. It's not 50-50 when you're seeking a mate or someone. What it is 100% of you and 100% of them.
Exactly.
What you say?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly true. Exactly true. And if you are holding anything back, you know, it only makes it worse.
Yeah. And it's detrimental to you.
Yes, it only makes it worse.
Right. It's detrimental to you as a person, you know. And this is where I'm going to say something that I've said often. And I'm actually going to be, we are going to be setting up some workshops in a spring survival series, per se. We are going to be talking about codependency. And we're going to be talking about the many things that lead up to codependent natures, what it is, how it affects you in your life, how it started, where it came from, how it allows you to put yourself last and everyone else first, why you put out all that you desire from someone else and why you don't get it back. So be looking out for that. Again, it's going to be a 3-part series. We're gonna have space for it. We're gonna have a live audience for that. We're gonna sell tickets for that. It's gonna be a very good workshop to help people heal. We have a lot of people in the community that are hurting and they haven't healed yet. So that is definitely something that we're gonna be doing as a team, and it's gonna be essential. So if you don't understand what codependency is, I challenge you after this to go and look up codependency. Look it up by definition. Look it up. Go listen to YouTube, Spotify. Go read something. There are books called Codependent No More and After Codependency, which is something that I learned about many years ago, and I applied it to my own life, to my childhood, to my broken situations in my childhood, to my broken marriages in adulthood. And it's very important so that we know and we understand, so we can stop repeating those same self-destructive patterns and behaviors, expecting someone else to make us whole and to save us, because the truth is no one is coming to save you.
No, if you can't save yourself,
nobody's coming to save you. No white horse and prince is going to ride in. There's not going to be a superwoman who's going to come and save you.
No.
We save ourselves every day by learning, being knowledgeable, taking time to really heal ourselves and do what's necessary to be better people as a whole.
Because if you're broken, your relationship is going to be broken.
Yeah, it is.
Because you're bringing a broken piece to something that's whole, and you'll be chipping pieces off of something that's whole that you're trying to bring.
Have you ever been in a situation where you felt like, in a romantic situation, and I think I can ask this, and I think a lot of people are going to be like, wow, I think. Because I remember I used to have fights with my ex-husband. We would argue. We were married at a young age, and we were engaged, like at 19, 20. And we were engaged for 5 years. But I remember when we first got married, I remember the arguments. And I remember feeling so defeated. And I remember feeling every single time we argue, this is taking pieces away from us.
Exactly.
And it's making us love each other less. Which, when someone really loves you and you really love them, that's not true. But it makes it harder. It breaks what it chips away at, like you said. What it tears down, what it takes away from, is that bond that you built. Because your bond is based on more than love. Because I could love you all day long and never see you again. I could love you all day long and divorce you. I could love you all day long and be away from you 99% of the time. But the bond of the friendship, the bond of the loyalty, the bond of those sprouts from the seeds that we planted, that's what gets chipped away at. That's what gets lost. Because in the end, in the last relationship that I was in, the long-term relationship, was 10 years. In the end, I lost the friendship, and what I mourned the most was the friendship. That's what I mourn to this day, is the friendship, because I've known that individual since I was 8 years old. And it broke my soul.
Yeah.
And I was so angry because of the trespasses that happened. And it wasn't because we didn't make it as a couple. It was because we lost our friendship. That's where the hurt comes in.
And it was just broken pieces.
Yes.
That just added up. And a lot of people, they don't want to let go because they think that it will mend itself, and it will not mend itself.
You have to put in the work.
Yes.
And you have to realize that just because I talk a lot about seasons, there is a season for everything. Know this. There is a reason for everything. Know this. So again, you've seen it. It sounds so cliche. Some people come into our life for a reason, a season. Some people come and stay forever, whether it's in a romantic capacity or a friendship capacity or, just an unbreakable bond. Those things happen. But understand that just because someone is there, they are there for the season, whether they're there forever or they're there for one moment or they're there for a wrinkle in time. But they're not always intended to stay. You got to let that go. You've got to absorb the lesson, accept the blessing from that, and move on. Let them go. Let them go. Because you're only harming yourself. You don't realize that once a person, and I can say this, I really believe, and I don't do any, we don't do any bashing, but from a woman's perspective, because I grew up with boys, 4 of them, 4 boys in my earliest, most developmental time, it was boys. And as a young woman, I was around a lot of men, friends, guys. And I think that a lot of times the thing that I learned is that at some point men just tune out. So women, you're no longer effective because first of all, men can't stand the waterworks. They see it as a tool or a trick that women pull. Oh, she's crying. I've made her cry. I'm failing her. Now all her friends and family is thinking of me, I'm a bum. I'm an asshole. Whatever they think about me. Now I've let her down. She's crying. Because men are conditioned, especially old school men that came up, they were raised by grandfathers or they're over the age of 35, 40. They were groomed to take care of their woman, to take care of women, to valiantly look over women and protect women at all costs, whether that's just their running buddy, whether that's their home girl, their best girlfriend, their sister, whoever. They are taught to protect women. That's what you do as a man. So they don't want to see that, and they feel like it's a cheap shot. Am I right?
Yes.
So what are some of the things that as a man that you could say that you have seen, not you don't necessarily have to share your own personal experience, but things that you have seen that was just like completely, totally out of line for a woman to do in a relationship, and say you've asked for your space, she's not giving you the space. What are some things that have happened to you that just completely turned you off from even trying to reconcile the relationship or even trying to go back there with her again after a breakup? What are some things that they could do that would really, as a man, just push you away completely?
Well, the first thing that a woman can do is belittle and criticize.
Okay.
If and men have to have their ego stroked.
Agreed.
They have to have their ego stroked. And the one thing that a woman can do to break you down is shatter your ego. If she can, is it just saying something? And arguments, like we say, chip away. You may take it at that time, but it's still there in the back of your mind what she said. And women they use a lot of tactics, and they know exactly where to hit you at. They study you and they know, they know exactly where to hit you at. And if they shatter your ego, then you're shattered.
Yeah.
And a lot of men, that's why they cheat.
Yeah.
Because this woman has shattered your ego and she does not stroke your ego, but somebody else comes along and strokes that ego. But it's only for a short time because she's going to shatter it too.
Yeah.
Sooner or later.
Yeah.
So, it's that, and men, that's what we need to move on. So if the ego is shattered, then you're setting idle. You're not moving forward. So like I said, in the back of your mind, you're always thinking, well, she said this and she said that, and we put up this protective cover like we're hard when we're really mentally broken.
You heard that from a man.
But it's just what it is. And, and that's what we need, and things may have happened that she's bitter about, and she's going to shatter that ego every time she get, if you did something, if you cheated and she took you back, and, it's only going to, because she's never going to forget it. She's never going to let you forget it.
Mm-mm.
And she's going to shatter that ego every time she gets a chance. Every time she gets a chance to get it, she's going to get that ego.
Yeah.
And
attack it where it hurts for
yes,
you, right?
Yes.
Or try to attack your manhood. Well, if you was really a man, you wouldn't do this, or a real man wouldn't do that, or a real man wouldn't say that. I think that another thing that I can speak from, like I say, is the waterworks. I know that men hate the waterworks. I'm personally one of those type of people that if you ever get me to cry, you better run. Because I'm not going to be crying because I'm not going to be crying because I'm hurt. I'm going to be crying because I'm about to hurt your ass. Yep. That's me, because that's the level of anger that you got me at. I'm not going to be crying because I'm hurt. If I'm hurt by something that you said or you did, I'm going to hurt in private. But if you ever get me that angry that I cry in front of you, you better take cover. That's all I'm going to say. Doesn't make me crazy. It just means that you push me to the limit. And I think that a lot of times, honestly, men, get highly turned off by the waterworks. Like he said, you're attacking the manhood, you're insulting you're it's not appealing to the ego. You're tearing them down. You're tearing the man down. That's what they have is, their strength and their abilities and their manhood, and you are attacking their manhood. And so with that happening and that being said, of course, you can't help but to see that he will have his eyes somewhere else because you are not, taking care of what needs to be taken care of. There's a way to communicate. The bigger problem here is that people don't know how to communicate. People always pride themselves on, oh, I can communicate. I can talk about it. We can talk about anything. I keep it real. The most cliche thing I've ever heard people say is, I keep it real. I keep it real. If somebody tells you I keep it real in the first conversation, run.
Yeah.
Run.
Because they're going to shatter your ego.
From the man's perspective.
And it works both ways.
So, Ken, let me ask you this.
It works both ways.
So
you can do a woman the same way, and you can break her.
You can break a woman. That's what I was going to say. With a woman, you can break her. You can attack her womanhood. You can make a mention of her that she might have put on 5-10 pounds. Oh, she can't fit in the jeans the way she used to. Oh, oh, you baby, you haven't been, taking care of your hair. Oh, baby, every time I see you, you around here in this t-shirt, you know what I'm saying? You looking tacky, this kind of stuff, and you can hurt her feelings. You know what I'm saying? You don't know. Women are emotional creatures, right?
And us as men, we may argue tonight, and tomorrow is fine.
Right.
But she hasn't forgotten it.
Women are going to hold on to it until we get a resolution.
Yes.
So I think that, in that being said, a lot of times the things that really push people away, I think, especially whenever, y'all are on y'all are done, and things that push people away are the constant calling and why me and why this and why did you do this to me? The victim role. You're playing the victim. Yeah. But I love you so much, and how could you do this to me? You left me alone, and and I knew this was going to happen, and why me? The victim role. People don't like to hear that. That right there is really reiterating to them why they're staying the hell away from you. That one, that you're needy and clingy now. Wow, I didn't even see you like this. Whatever it was, the reason why you were clingy, needy, questioning me, going through my things, not trusting me. People really need to go back and look at the communication patterns. What is it that we're not doing? How do we communicate? How do we make this better? And then you also have to understand, a lot of times because again, there are codependent issues. There are broken adults that haven't healed childhood wounds. There are people that are not whole out here, that have baggage, that haven't recovered. There are people that are in rebound situations, people that are serial monogamists, which means that they believe in being 100% monogamous, and they go from one to the other. And they're monogamous with that person for as long as they can be with that person. They're not cheating with anybody else. They marry. They're serial marriers. They get married and they stay married. They get a divorce. They hop on to the next marriage. It happens because that's what they think about their definition of what is acceptable in society. You have to look. There are so many factors, and we could go on and on about why people do that. But the truth is that, people can't let go of something or someone. A lot of times is because when you're out there and you are displaying the behavior, and I'm sorry to tell you this, but when you are when you are exhibiting that kind of behavior, a lot of times that other person, man, they swoop in and they take full advantage of it because they know I can still get sex from this person. I can still get money. They'll take whatever attention I give them, whether it's negative or positive. Right now, I can do them any kind of way. I will have them do anything that I want. They'll be eating out of the palm of my hands. And that'll be pretty much what it is. And I'm typing so you say you need to be truly speaking on this topic. Why don't you go on live? Why don't you come on my Instagram live and request to be in the video, and we'll add you to the video. That way people can hear you on both platforms. Come on and go to my Instagram And Hey Miss Hayes, it's Hey with 6 Y's _MS_Hayes. And if you don't already have me, I think you follow me on there already. But if you don't, go on there right now and request to be in our live video. And that way people that are on Facebook will be able to hear you on Instagram. And obviously people on Instagram will be able to see you come live and listen to you as well. So while we're waiting for you to do that, if you would bless us with that, then we certainly will continue. But okay, so I think that people take advantage of that. And you really don't see how foolish you really are being. They're going to continue to take what they can get.
Oh yeah, everybody.
Why not? I mean, that's a home cooked meal. That's sex. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they might be getting to know the other person. Have you ever heard of this too? And I'm gonna say this, okay, I'm not gonna hold back because, okay, so you got a for sure thing that that you could get sex from, or intimacy from, or a hug or a kiss, or you get them to go to lunch with you or dinner with you. Okay, well, you already working on the next woman or the next man, but you're not having sex with that new person. Instead, you go into the for sure thing while you're over here, building up the relationship, grooming that person while you're over here finessing that situation over here, getting to know them, but you're still over here laid up with the other person because you can get it like that when you want to, because you know that they're weak for you. And at the same time, you're playing because you know that you ain't trying to be with them.
Yeah.
You ain't trying to be with them. You're just using them for what they can give you at this moment. It happens all the time.
And if they don't let go, you'll still be there.
Right. You're going to be on the side all along. They're going to be talking to
wait to exhale.
They're going to be talking to everybody.
She could not let him go.
No, they're going to be talking to everybody. They're going to be doing other things. They're going to be doing everything that they want to do to you. So, it really boils down to why you can't let go of something or someone is that you need to examine yourself.
Exactly.
Correct the deficiencies within yourself. I know this is a hard pill to swallow and you might drop off right now. And if you do, I love you still. And peace. I'm not mad at you. But the truth is the truth, and the truth hurts, babies. The truth does hurt. So you need to examine yourself, look at your own deficiencies, and do not be a doormat for anyone.
Exactly. Because we can look at the news these days.
Yes.
People that can't let go.
They can't let go.
This tragedy is happening every day.
We just talked about it on the Studio 323 podcast on Monday, on Tuesday night, about the woman that she had everything in a nice big home and she murdered her husband because they were already going to be separated and getting a divorce. He was coming over to get the remainder of his things and she killed him.
In the girlfriend's car, in the new girlfriend's car.
And then he drove up in the new girlfriend's car. I thought that A-Dog was making that up as a comedy.
No.
So she really wasn't a Kia Soul.
That's what
it was for real. Oh my. Okay, A-Dog, I owe you an apology, dog. I really do. I love you. I'm sorry.
He made public mistake number one. You drove the woman you left me for. You drove her car with you.
Woo! The car is on fire. Your ass is getting lit up. And I'm not trying to be funny, but I mean, people really do crazy things in the name of love. But really, it's not love. It's control. It's anger. Really, who are you mad at? I've said this so many times. Who are you really mad at? You're really mad at yourself for allowing them to do that to you.
And you lash out at them.
And you're really the one who has the deficiency. Exactly. It's really all about you. So we have a comment. Individuals need to know the greatness that they have within their self. Individuals need to know the greatness that they have within their self.
It doesn't have to be the team of me.
Yes. I got to be all the way right. I'm not getting ready to go, you know what? Have you ever said to yourself, I'm a mess right now. I'm totally a mess. I'm not good for nobody.
You'll never say that.
No.
You'll never say
no, but it's a self-reflection whenever, but when you can really say that when you can really say, you know what, I need some time to look at me and I'm going to go solo. When you really fall in love with yourself and you really know yourself, like me, I know the next person that comes along, man, they're going to have it made like in the shade. Like, no, I'm saying like they're going to get a whole person, you know what I'm saying? Because I've always tried to go into every relationship with no baggage. I've always tried to go in and never, oh, well, he did this, so you're going to do it. Or, oh, I've seen this before. This is a trend I've seen before. Oh, this looks familiar, so I'm suspicious. No, I never did that. I let you hang yourself. You are innocent until proven guilty in my eyes. But I am smarter. I work harder. And I know me better than anybody. It ain't nothing you can tell me about me. And see, a lot of y'all are giving up too much information. you are creating a space for someone who doesn't deserve to be within your space. What happens is you got somebody swooping in and you're telling them everything that was your man was deficient in or your woman was deficient in. Oh, I can cook. Oh, she didn't cook for you. Oh, I'm gonna go cook them a whole bunch of meals. You know, the way to a man's heart is through the stomach, right? Okay. Except let's say put that spaghetti on you. They put a boot on you.
You gonna get some pork chops today, but you
didn't have that before, right? Right? You ain't finna get no stove top stuffing or hamburger helper or some throw together, some McDonald's food. You gonna get a home cooked meal. Man, let me tell you, that have won a lot of men over, right? Women, y'all been tricky. And also men though, but the man will come in swoop in. Oh baby, you seen the most people fall. They fall in love. They start with the emotional cheating first. Then it leads into the physical cheating. Once you've had the emotional and the physical connection, the cheating, that's when it happens. So you see that it happens because people are there and they're everything that you told them that you wanted them to be. Oh, I don't understand. She was perfect. She was flawless. Oh, he was perfect. He's every man I want him to be, until the real person showed up and showed through. My mama used to always say, and I give her all the credit, oh, they're going to be everything that you want. They're going to put on a real good show till they get you. And once they got you comfortable, then the real them is going to show up and show out. And Lord knows, I have seen it, and people have held down a good front and a good story for more than 5 years. And that's sad when someone can do that. But the real you is always going to come out.
But they was always there.
It was there. You just didn't ignore it. You just didn't see it because the warning flags and the warning signs are always there. That's the next thing.
You didn't want to see it. You was blinded by the light.
So I'm going to make one more point on why you can't let go of something. And I think some of you will agree. If you're a person that has been in long-term relationships, or you're young and you've just in a new relationship, that type of thing, and you've been in a relationship with someone, you don't know. You don't have any experience. So a lot of times when you break up from that relationship, it's that you're holding on to because you don't have experience. You don't know. You're afraid to get out there and meet new people. You're afraid because you don't have experience.
And that's why
you hold on.
We said earlier, he can come by and he can spend the night. And I don't want to have sex with nobody else. So I'm comfortable with him. So, he's
gonna get it how he lives.
Yeah. So and it doesn't matter that he's out there with somebody else. You don't even care. You don't see that.
No.
But you just,
You're selling yourself short, ladies.
And it's men
and gentlemen. You're selling yourself short. Because I'm gonna tell you something. And if I'm lying, you can correct me. Every single person in their life has or either has had a person that they just couldn't let go of. No matter what, y'all always come back to each other, whether it was a trespass that happened to you or not, whether you just made a bad decision, whether you picked somebody else over them. Because like my mom always said, if you ain't married, you're single. You know what I mean? Your commitment is when you make that bond and that union, that's your commitment there. Or when y'all sit down and have a grown-up conversation and know exactly what it is. So at that point, you should be entertaining a lot of people. You should pick the best selection. You should have a selection to choose from. You should pick the best choice. No one should be mad at you if you're going on dates with other people.
Yep.
Nobody should be mad about that until you have sealed that bond and made that commitment to be with that one person, right? Okay. Exactly. So in this instance, that's what you end up with. If you don't sit down and have a conversation with someone in advance, then you deal with a situationship, which I have gone through before, and I am going to absolutely, I'm going to run that situationships back because it hasn't changed, because some of y'all are still making the same decisions, choices, mistakes. It ain't always about that. Okay. Know yourself, in your mind before you start being on the physical side, right?
Exactly.
So that was my last point about it. Do you have any more points about letting go of someone? Why you can't let go of someone?
No.
Okay. Now let's go on and run into something. Why you can't let go of something? What is it that you can't let go of sometimes? Collections, bad habits, a job. Oh my God. A lot of us stay at our jobs or with an employer or with a partner, a business partner, for far too long. Why do you think that those type of things happen?
I see it with the older generation, they was loyal
The loyalty, oh my
to their
God.
job.
The poor definitions of loyalty.
You know, we've all been there. We've all seen the guy that's been there for 30 years and never moved up, and he's happy to come to work every day. And he's loyal to that job. He doesn't know anything. If we all grew up, our grandparents did
God,
it,
yes.
our parents did
They
it.
retired from that job, the same position.
No matter what that job did to them, how they treated them, they still went home and they went back the next day like nothing ever happened.
Like nothing ever happened.
And
Just had their head held high with all the dignity in the world.
Exactly.
That's how that goes. So it was just the loyalty to it, right? To going there. And I think a lot of times, the fear of being, of aging out of work, because a lot of times they'll either push you out of a job, they'll force an early retirement, or a lot of times the new people will come in and push the older people out.
Yes. And with the older people, the fear of was doing something else. They were comfortable.
Having to start over.
They were comfortable.
Having to learn something new.
Yeah, that's right.
So can you imagine in the times that, and I can look back and see that, remember when fax machines came around? That was a challenge for people.
Yeah.
You remember when internet came around? That was a challenge for people. And now everything is pretty much paperless, and that's a challenge for people.
Yeah.
So you can understand, you can see how people get frustrated, and people are afraid of change. Technology. I remember being, I think maybe like 20 years old, at college, and reading an article called Against Technology. There were people that were basically giving their testimony as to why they would never change. They would have stacks and stacks of notebooks, things written down. They refused to go with the flow of technology. Welcome, Miss Blue. Welcome, Marvin. They refused to go forward with new technology because it was a habit. They were used to doing things another way. Challenge is scary because change is scary because it requires you to challenge your mind, to challenge your strategies, to challenge your techniques. You have to get on a level with someone else, especially if you are dealing with someone. One of the topics that one of my that I put forth was about working with different populations at your job or at your employer. Like teaming a younger person up with an older person and vice versa.
Wow,
where one knows the other, where one is mentoring the other one, or the younger one is coming in and teaching the older one new technology. And it was about having patience and understanding, Exactly. And a lot of times people don't let go of things like jobs because they're afraid. They're afraid to change. They're afraid of the challenge that is required to change, to learn things. They don't want to go in and they don't want to take classes. They don't want to have to be certified for things. A lot of it too is that you see that very prevalent in higher education. People not wanting to go in and, have to go to higher education. I remember times, when your parents were like saying, you got to have a high school diploma. You won't be anything unless you graduate high school. Shit, now you have how many college degrees? I have 2. You know what I mean? And it still don't matter. I still owe the good old US of A a lot of money in federal student loan money. I'll be on them whenever I'm 6 feet under.
Yeah. I'm from a small country town.
And, we couldn't tell that.
Yeah. But one of the things that I noticed, they had a clinic there. There had a lot of doctors that had been there for 20 years. When this big corporation took over the small clinic, where everything went to computers. You remember the doctor used to come in. Oh
yeah, they would make their notes on the file and all that. Oh wow.
Yeah, none of them could do it.
Yeah.
So now they have to have this little 18, 19-year-old girl following them around with an iPad.
Oh, yeah. Logging everything in. And she talks to you, she checks you in now.
So a lot of the older people don't like that because they're used to having a one-on-one with the doctor.
Exactly. Why do I have to have somebody sit here and evaluate me first? Yeah. Maybe I don't want you to know how much I weigh. Why do I got to get on the scale in the hall in front of everybody?
Why can't I get on the scale? Whisper to the doctor.
No. But my doctor would look at me. No, I'm gonna be real with you. My doctor would look at me and be like, "How much you weigh, baby?" because he knew that I would have an attitude. Now, this is the same family doctor that I've had for 30 years. But he was looking at me, how much you weigh, baby? 120.
Can you see
Knowing my big ass was 150.
Can you see the old guy sitting there with the young girl over there in the corner? She typing in the pad everything he says. But Doc,
I need the tablets.
Doc, I need a refill on my Viagra.
Oh,
And, you know,
Lord.
and this young girl is sitting there typing it in the.
He needs a refill on his Viagra.
Yeah. And then you go to the store, and there she is on the milk aisle with you. And you're looking at her, and she's like, "Yeah, that's the guy that got his refill on his
I know you
Viagra."
trying that old school dude right there. I'm gonna get it lit tonight. I'm about to pull out the extends on your ass. I'm going to the corner store and kiss it with those all night long for 5 days.
So you know it is change.
Like mamas or something like
Yeah, Panthers.
some good old Hennessy. Fuck that Jill stuff. Some Hennessy, right?
Yeah,
Okay, all right.
Gin.
Sin. Anyway. All right, y'all. You know I love y'all. Okay, so what's other reasons why you can't let go of something? Just being scared of change, maybe?
Yeah.
Or
yeah.
like she said, like Lana said earlier, sentimental value.
And
You have an attachment to something, right?
and just plain stubborn. Refusing.
Refusal. I totally agree with that stubborn sentiment.
Just
Absolutely.
refuse. Some people just refuse. You know, hey, I'm just
Like
I'm
good
not
old Fred
I'm
Sanford.
not letting you go. No way.
Whoa!
You know, you're standing. I refuse. I'm not.
I refuse to let you go.
But-
Oh, wasn't that song?
Yeah.
I know you won't leave me, but I refuse to let you go. If I have to beg and plead for your sympathy,
There it is.
I don't mind, cause it means that much to me. Ain't too proud to beg. Okay, he
There it
left
is.
me, y'all. I wasn't gonna do it on my own. But anyway, so a lot of times it's just pure stubbornness, like he said.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna close up, but I want to close up by encouraging you to really examine yourself, really take time to get to know yourself, really study codependency and all that it is, again, in private. Seek therapy if it's necessary. Be your whole self. You know when you're not your best self and when you don't feel well inside emotionally. You know what I mean? Nobody can tell you that. You can know that, and you'll know that for yourself. And you know when you need to be better.
There's nothing wrong with help.
There's nothing wrong with that. Counseling, therapy, support groups. There are codependency. It's like Alcoholics Anonymous, and people that are dealing, with drug addictions and stuff. A lot of times we are dealing with very, like I say, we are adults. We are adults that are still dealing with severely wounded childhoods that we haven't healed from, or we're adults that are dealing with baggage, and we have to heal and be whole people, out here in this world, because we're not really helping anybody, and we're certainly not helping ourselves by not healing ourselves. And a lot of times you can't do it on your own. You've got to have the help to do it. So I absolutely suggest that you take a look at that. Again, we'll be announcing the dates and the way to purchase for the spring series that's coming up on the codependency and healing from codependency, and just being a better whole person. So I just want to say, that I love you guys, and I thank you so much for always tuning in, for all of your help, all of your comments. The topic was an amazing topic to discuss. And I just really hope that you've enjoyed it and you've really gained something by watching. Do you have anything that you want to say in closing?
Love yourself first.
And most.
Because you can't give love until you love yourself. How can you love someone else if you don't love yourself? And sometimes it's things that you just have to let go. You know you have to let them go. Some things you just don't want to let go. But
Right.
Sometimes it's time to let go. Because I heard an old man say one time, nothing lasts forever, not even you.
Right.
For sure you're born, you will die.
Absolutely.
You will not live forever. So
Those are the
nothing
two
lasts
things.
forever.
Two things that are promised in life is that you will live and you will die. There's a day to
Yes.
be born and a time to return. You will pass on to the next, whatever you believe in. Whether, you return to the earth and you're just done, or whether you return, as something else reincarnated. But on the same token, I just want to say, really take time to know you and love you, be whole, you know what I'm saying? And just because it's there in a pretty little package, just because it's someone that has been there for you, that you've shared intimate moments with, that you've shared your ugliest, darkest secrets with, you've been vulnerable with, that doesn't mean that there's not someone else that will be there for you. That doesn't mean that that person is the only one for you and that they're right for you. Because anyone who intentionally hurts you, takes advantage of you, uses your weakness against you, talks down to you, is ugly to you, devalues you, dehumanizes you, attacks your manhood, like he was saying earlier, who doesn't appreciate you as a human being, who belittles you, they absolutely have no place in your life. Not even as a friend. They need to really do some self-examination, because someone who treats you that way really has their own internal issues. And really, when you're at the point that you're angered that much, that you're mad at yourself for allowing it to happen, when you see that, when you're really that angry for allowing it to happen, you really at that point realize that you have some real issues that you need to resolve within yourself. And I know it's been a difficult topic to discuss, but I hope that we've made some headway, and I hope that we've challenged you to look within yourself and become better as a person, so that you can be treated the way you deserve to be treated, and eliminate or cut the fat, per se, from the meat. Got it?
Got it.
All right.
Well said.
All right, Special K. So I appreciate Special K, y'all. And it's me, Fancy. And again, go ahead and drop your topics for me for next week. Go ahead and start inboxing. I'll put the vote out for you no later than Sunday or Monday. And then we will go ahead and have it next Thursday. It'll be season 3, episode 7 of Fancy's Let's Talk About It with my special guest, Indeed, Special K. We love y'all, and good night.
Good night.
All right.